Hello, freak bitches. Well, you definitely do to play NFL.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're staring down a team of super athletes
Yeah.
and you're just going to collide with each other or try to get across lines,
Yeah.
that's a totally different way of living your life.
It's weird, man.
Than 99% of the world.
Yeah, I tell people, like, I've had 14 surgeries in my career. Right?
Jesus
and yeah,
Christ.
it's just crazy. Like, it's normal to me, and it's normal to people that play in the league. Like, after the season, like, usually everybody gets a surgery of something that's been bothering them.
What have you had done?
I've had meniscus several times. I've had Achilles, back, my pinky, my shoulder. I actually played all of my 2010 season with a broken collarbone.
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
I did that game 3, and it's still broke. You can still feel it. But
with a broken collarbone?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
mind over matter, man. It just is like because at that time I went undrafted, right? So I had just got my shot to start, and it was game 3, and I was having a really good season, and it was either like if in the NFL if you're not already paid, like your position is up for grabs. And so it's either you push through it or somebody gonna take your spot.
Wow.
And so at that was my time to shine. So I was like, painkillers, man.
So could you feel it moving around?
Mm-hmm. It was weird.
Oof.
I had to protect it.
My brother-in-law has like a metal piece there. He lost his in a BMX accident. And they put like a titanium rod.
Yeah, I think I need that, man. Cause like right now it's dipped in. You can feel it. It's like dipped in.
Did you ever like get it looked at?
Nah, cause I didn't want him to know I was hurt, and so because like they bring that shit up like during when you're negotiating your contract. I was like, oh, well, he missed this because he was hurt, and they use it as leverage against you, and so 2012 was when I signed my contract. The day after, I was like, yo, I just want to let y'all know I broke my collarbone 2 years ago, and they was like, no way. I was like, yeah. They was like, no way. So I was like, get an X-ray.
Wow.
And so we got an X-ray. It was like, holy shit, you did.
And I would be impressed. I'd be like, that's a guy I want on my team. This
Yeah.
fucking dude played with a broken collarbone.
It's bittersweet, right? So like as soon as you tell him that's what happened, then it's like, oh well, he gets injured. Like it's a weird.
What, he's human? Who the fuck doesn't get injured playing in the NFL?
I mean, you would think that's the rational way to go about it.
Do you know anybody who's played pro football who didn't get injured?
Mm.
I mean, how is it even possible? I don't feel like it's possible.
I haven't seen anybody.
I watched the Super Bowl, and one of the things that I was thinking was like, okay, you're watching all these dudes run and collide with each other and watching all these tackles, and like I was like trying to stockpile. I was like in my head, I was like, how many injuries am I watching here?
Yeah.
Like, you know, because a lot of times dudes will walk off, and then later that night they'd be like, oh man, my fucking back is killing me,
the
right?
Worst, man. It's the worst.
And then you get it diagnosed, and there's some sort of a bulging disc or something.
The problem I had, because most of my issues that kept me off the field were like soft tissue injuries, which I can't run with my hamstring won't give. But like all the rest of my stuff, my problem became like my tolerance for pain, my threshold. It became so high that like I don't even know what hurt and what was normal anymore. So like I'm still kind of dealing with a lot of those aches and pains and stuff now. But it's like you just push through it because the pain was normal.
You just get accustomed to it.
Yeah, pain becomes a part of life. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you always know that, like, I'm sure you played in high school and you played in college.
Yeah.
Did you always know that this was eventually going to lead to like a point where your body just wasn't going to be able to do it anymore?
I mean,
did you think about that?
You say that, right? And people tell you about it, but you know they say ignorance is bliss. Like you don't know it actually affects you until it actually affects you. And so, like, you're like one of the worst games I've ever been a part of was we were playing Chicago in 2012, I think, and it was raining, and so they just running the ball the whole game. And the next day I woke up, like I'm limping, like walking towards the bathroom. Like I couldn't. It took me about 5 minutes, and my bathroom's like right there. So it took me like 5 minutes. I was like literally like limping. It was just, my body was just beat up. Once the painkillers were off from the game. And like when you're going through it, you don't really realize it. But like towards the end of my career, that's kind of why I decided to walk away, because I was like, is it worth it anymore? You know what I'm saying? I'm relatively healthy. I could walk. You know, who knows what I've done to my brain? You know, that the onset of that comes on years later. But after a while, it just stopped being worth it to me anymore. Plus, I kind of just fell out of love with it.
That's a weird place to be, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you're saying like you don't know what's going on with your brain, do you notice anything now?
Nothing that haven't. Nah, I mean I've definitely had concussions before, and earlier on, like the CT stuff kind of that was like probably like 2013, 14 is when the science really started and the news media really started talking about it. But growing up, like, it was kind of just called a dinger. Like, you just got dunked, you know what I'm saying? You got dinged.
And no one worried about the consequences.
And so we didn't really know. And so it was just part of it. I've definitely had concussions before where you like not really sure where you are, but like somehow your subconscious knows what to do when you play.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
So you're out of it because you got cracked, and you're just kind of going through the game anyway?
Keep playing.
Do you remember it afterwards?
Parts.
That happens a lot to fighters. Like, they'll get dropped in the first round, and then they'll be on their corner in the fourth round, like headed into the fifth, and they'll think it's the second round.
Jeez.
And then the coach will go, "Hey man, you fought 3 more rounds than you think you did." They're like, "What?"
Yeah. It's crazy.
This is the second round, right? They're like, "No, this is the last round." Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And it's amazing to me that people are able to function on such a high level, not really conscious of what's going on.
That's got to be your training, right?
Yes, that's all training is you're training your body to become second nature.
So now, when you were in high school and you were in college, was there any talk at all about brain damage? Was there any talk about CTE or the?
Not really.
Nobody worried about it.
Nah, it was just not. It wasn't. The science wasn't complete. I'm pretty sure there were neuroscientists saying like your brain damage is real. But the science wasn't as definitive as it is now.
Right. But no one connected it the way they did with boxing?
Not to us, not to me. You know, like now people are worrisome about putting their kids in youth leagues and stuff like that. And they're even talking about not letting youth leagues have tackle football at all, which I'm an advocate for. I don't think there's no point for it. Like my sons are not gonna play football.
No. Wow, that's crazy. But you made
beat up my body so they could have a free ride or whatever they want to do, man.
But what if they want to play football?
I'm gonna say, sit down, man. You got trust fund, man. Relax.
Yeah, but what if they want to be their own man? You know,
I'm not gonna physically stop him. I mean, I probably could, but I would seriously sit him down and let him know the consequences. Show him people. And show them the risk factors involved. Like, it is not worth it. I know you want to, and I mean, as much as a son wants to walk in his father's shoes, it's just not worth it, man.
Right.
It's really not. And you're probably not going to be as good. That's just how.
What if your kid wanted to fight?
Like like box?
Yeah, box or kickbox or MMA or something like that.
I wouldn't advocate that either.
You wouldn't let them do that?
No, I'm pushing them to go towards like education. I want them to be scientists. Like, if I had to do it over again, I wouldn't have never play football.
Really?
I'd be a scientist. Not even.
You would start from the beginning. Like, if you could go back to college, and knowing what you know now. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Not even close.
And just because of the damage to your body?
Well, that and so it's a weird thing. So like you're in your prime physically as a man, but you're in your infancy mentally, right?
Right.
And so like I'm just now figuring out who I am and what kind of man I want to be. And you're while you're in your prime, that's when you're in the public eye. So you have to deal with all of that on top of so you're figuring out who you are in a fishbowl, and it's a really weird thing. So I don't even want to deal like any kind of recognition or any kind of fame or whatever people want to call it. Like I don't like it. I don't want it. I feel like the best to me, like the best society would be artists and scientists. That would be a ideal society to me.
Wow, that's an interesting take on things, considering how successful you've been playing football. I mean, playing football obviously was very financially rewarding to you. It made you famous.
For sure.
I mean, if just some regular dude went on Twitter and started talking about I could take a wolf one-on-one, nobody would give a fuck.
Nobody would care.
They'd be like, shut up, stupid.
I doubt anybody cares anyway, but it's just...
people care, man. Fucking my Twitter exploded when I said you were coming on. Yeah, like, you better school him.
Tell him about wolves,
you better tell him about wolves, man. My uncle shot a wolf, man. It was going to kill his whole family.
Yeah, nah.